Is it recording? Wi-Fi is slow. Yeah. Okay. So last class we have discussed about morphology. In that morphology also we have talked about what is POS tagging, but actual POS tagging, how to find the POS tag for each and every word we will be learning in this chapter. Okay, that is the main objective of the chapter. A word has multiple POS tagging, so there is an ambiguity occurs. So which is the correct POS tag based on the probabilistic model we will be finding out, and that we will be learning here. Given a sentence, for each word what are all the possible POS tags, among that which is the correct POS tag for that particular word in that particular sentence for that context we'll be learning here. Okay, that is the main objective of this POS tagging chapter. So what is the main thing is, each word in given a sentence, in each word what is the actual POS tagging we are going to find. So that is, given a sentence in English, we have to identify a unique POS category for each word. We should not have more than one POS category for each word in a given sentence based on some context. Okay, that is, take an English text. That is, your corpus will be in an English text. You will be taking an English text and identifying the POS tag for each and every word present in the text. Okay, that is, given a text of English, identify the main task of POS tagging is, given a text of English, identify the POS. Parts of POS is parts of speech. I will be using POS, so parts of speech for each and every word. Okay, so for example, if I take an example, boy put the key on the table, some lines. Okay, boy put the key on the table. So each boy is what type of boy? May be a noun, put can be a verb, that can be a determiner, key can be a noun, on can be a preposition, the again determiner, table can be a noun. Okay, so like that, what are also this way, this is the boy put the key on the table. So generally they have basic course level tags, are these are the basic course level tags. If you want to go to fine level, again next level are there. So the basic general level tags are, so given a sentence, the boy put the key on the table, take each and every word and find out what are all the possible POS taggings for that word based on the base level. So base, if you take a basic level, course level, we have generally 4 POS tagging. It can be a noun, it is not, we are not telling it's a singular or plural, or it is a verb, it's past tense or present tense, that not, we are not telling generally, it is noun, verb, all this. Okay, preposition, P for, okay, okay. P for, can you all able to hear me, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the basic course levels are noun, verb, preposition, and determiner. Determiner is det is given for determiner. That is, and the all comes under determiner. Okay, so we will be mapping. This is the main concept. I have given in the picture form. Given a text in the English sentence, each word what is the POS tagging. Okay, and that is each, for each word map to one of the 4 POS tag. Given a sentence, identify the grammatical category for each of the word. Okay, so our one question what we arises here is, how many different POS tags are there? Okay, so how many POS tags are there? There are different things that go into POS categories. Okay, so before finding out how, what is the problem? Please, everyone, please mute yourself. So before going to ask how many different POS tags are there, we will be first learning about what are the different things comes into POS categories. So the first thing is open class words. We have seen open class words and closed class words, right? Can you tell me what is open class from the name itself? What and all comes under open class words? In a given a sentence, we have open class words and closed class words, right? We have learned in the first chapter itself, right? Yes or no? Before
Yes,
learning Zipf's law. So what is open class? So before finding out how many parts of speech we have, we should know what are the different things that goes under POS category. So first we'll learn about what is open class words and what is closed class words. Can anyone tell me what and all in a sentence, which are all the words comes under open class words and which are all the words comes under closed class words? Don't think about POS tag. Words. Then you have a
Ma'am,
sentence. Huh.
content words are basically the open
Very
class
good.
words, functional
Open
words are
class. Closed class words, very good. So open class words are the content words like noun, verbs, adjective, adverbs. They have their own POS tagging. Content words will have their own POS, and the open class words are the content words, and the content words will have their own POS tagging. So whether the open class words is fixed or it will be keep on adding new words, or it will be adding in a language.
New words will be
That will be
found.
because that's why it is called as open. Since it is an open class, since new words are added all the time. Okay, so those words are called as the content words or open class words. Next one is the closed class words. Closed class words is also called as the functional words. Okay, fixed set of, as the name implies, closed. It is a fixed set of words. What are all comes under fixed set of words? New words will not add in and there. It is mainly used to tie the concepts in the sentence together. If I have some words, using this closed words, I can tie these words together to make a meaningful sentence. Okay, yes or no? Yes or no? If I have some words here, I can use the closed class words to tie those words together to make a meaningful sentence. Yes or no? Is, of, the, and all is the closed class words, right? Preposition, determiners, which are all comes under closed class words. Which are all words comes under closed class words.
Is, was, the,
The all this. So what is the use of is, was, the, and all? If I have some words using that is, was, the, I will tie up those words with these content closed class words, and I can make it as a proper meaningful sentence. Yes or no? The boy ran with a key. Okay, the boy. So the is a closed class words. Okay, so this is a determiner. So if I take a determiner, these all the words comes under determiner. But if you take a noun, we cannot tell that these are the words which comes under noun. If I take preposition, these are all the words comes under preposition. It is fixed. But when you see this in a open class words, we cannot say that these are all the words which is fixed. It will be keep on adding. That's why the name comes as a open class words. Okay. So what we have learned open class from this open class words and closed class words. Some POS categories are used for open class words, and some POS categories are comes under closed class words. Yes or no? Some POS categories will be used. Determiner comes under which? It is a POS category which comes under which class words?
closed,
DET, closed class words, like that. Preposition comes under which class words?
closed class.
Closed class words. Okay. So generally these are the open class words. So POS tagging, if you take, these are all some examples they have given. So this is how it is tagged. This is a tag given for each POS tagging. Noun means the tag given as N. Verb means B. Adjectives means ADJ. Adverb means ADV. These are all some examples they have given. Preposition means they use P. Pronoun means PRO. Determiner means T. DET. Okay, all these are all some examples, POS examples for you to understand. This is how the tags will be given, and this is the name of the POS category, and this is some examples based on that sentence. Okay, so this is how the POS tagging will be. So our question is what level? Okay. So our question here is what is how it is helpful in language model. Either we have to use a course level or we have to go for a fine grain level in the language model. Okay. So whether you want a course level or you want a fine grain level in language model. Is the course level itself is enough or fine grain level is needed? Can you tell me? My question is what is helpful in language model? Either course level or fine grain level. Course level is only the 4 sets of keywords. Fine grain level is in depth. I will show the tag set. Okay. In noun itself, it's a singular, plural. Okay. First person singular, second person singular, like that. You want in-depth information for language modeling, or only the course level is more than enough?
In depth.
In depth. Okay, that is a fine grain level. So find out whether the word is noun can be done in a course level means what? Given a word to find out whether the word is a noun. If you want to find, yes, that is a course level. But again, fine level, how we are going again that word noun, again in depth what you are doing in fine grain. Can you tell me? Finding that word as a noun is a course level or fine grain level?
Course level.
Course level. What will be the fine grain level for that word? I have taken a word noun, okay, and whether it is a singular noun, plural noun, or it is a regular noun or irregular noun, that will be what for the same word?
Fine grain.
Fine grain level. Either we have to finding out whether the word is a noun can be done in the course level, but if I want whether it's a singular noun or plural noun, so I have to see the grammatical structure. For that, what I have to do again? For that noun word, I have to see the grammatical structure and I have to find out voice. It is a noun. It is a plural. It is not. It's because it ends with s. So I have to go for the fine details. Okay. So there are various schemes are available for POS tagging. Given a sentence, to find a POS tagging, first we have to define your tag set, or you have to choose a tag set. Already predefined tag set is available. Okay, so could you pick the course tag sets are noun, verb, adjectives, adverbs. Okay, so more commonly used tag set is UPenn Tree Bank tag set. This is a tag set which is available for English language. It has taken and for each tag, what is noun means, what is a this one you have to give, you have to use. That is a label you have to use, like that. They have identified and they have given some examples for that. This is a predefined tag set which is available for English language, and it has how many tags? It has roughly 45 tags. Okay, so this is the sample example for UPenn POS tag set. Okay, they use CC for conjunction, and conjunction means what? And, but, or, to combine two sentences. Okay, so they are using a tag called CC. CD they have used for cardinal numbers 1, 2, 3. Okay, like that. See, NN is for noun singular. NNS means nouns plural, that is in-depth information. NNP means proper noun singular. So like that, they have identified 45 POS category with, they have given the tags, description of the tag, and some examples for that. Okay, some examples. This is already tag sets available. So you may ask, tag sets are available. I have my corpus. I'll give my corpus and I'll link that tag set, and the tag set will assign each and every word whether it's a noun or verb. Then what is our role? Can you tell me why you want to learn POS tagging? Anyhow, already tag sets are available. Okay, but we have a tag set and we have a corpus, so I can apply that tag set to that corpus, so it will tell me whether this word is a noun or a verb. So then why we need, actually, can you tell me why we need that? Why we want to learn this? Why we want to worry about the solving POS tag? It is very simple, right? We have a tag set there, and the tag set, you will give that you will give a corpus, and you give that tag set. We have the words. It will attach, this word means this is the tag. This word means this is the tag. You can make it, right? So this is a simple problem. Why we want to actually learn the POS tagging? Whether it's a simple or complex. Can you tell me?
Same word can have multiple POS tags.
Very good, very good. Same word will have multiple POS taggings. System will assign, if I have a saw can be a noun, can be a verb, or it can be a adverb, like that, different ways. So it will assign all these to the word saw. But that word should have how many POS tagging actually?
Only one.
Only one. So finding out which is the correct thing, this is our aim here. Okay, so now our question is why we are worried about solving POS tagging. It is simple or difficult problem? It is difficult, of course, because each word does not have a unique POS tagging. Okay, each word will not have a unique POS tagging. So, and it is based on the POS tagging of each word is based on what? Can anyone tell me?
Context, previous.
Very good. Context, and that is the previous words. In what context that word is appearing in that sentence? Okay, based on the previous words and the next words, all these. Okay. So, so a word might have multiple POS tagging, and based on the context, we have to use which POS tagging will be used for that word. Okay. So, if you take this example, see here, this is how the POS tagging will be tagged sentence. This is a sentence. So you have the final solution should be, it is like this. Okay, if that grant has multiple POS tagging, you have to take out what is the correct POS tagging for this word for this corresponding sentence. Finally, my output should be, if I give a sentence like this, you are, after solving the problem, you will be giving an output. The is a determiner, grant is this one, jury is noun, commented is verb, on is a preposition, is a determiner. So all these in and in, all these are this is given here. 45 tags are given here. They have given a tags. Okay, labels. Okay, so they have used these labels to follow this. So finally, my question will be at the end. I will be giving one sentence, and you will be applying the probabilistic method, and you will be finding out this like this will be your output, final output. So you have to calculate. That problem is very not a simple problem. It will take at least half an hour to complete one problem, because based on how many possible tags I am giving for each and every word, the complexity increases. If I give only 2 tags, among finding 2 tags which is the correct tag, it is easy. You can do it. If I give 5 tags for each word, so how many words are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 into 5, 50 combinations you'll be getting it. So among the 50 combinations, how many combinations is the correct combination? Among this, which is the correct, how many combinations will be a correct combination?
1.
1. Among 51 is the correct combination. See, each word I am giving 5 possible POS tags. So how many words totally I have in this sentence? 10 words. So 50 possible combinations are there. Okay. In that, this among this 5, here 1, here among this 5 grand 5 combinations 1. So which will be among the 50, I have to select only the 10 possible combinations. That first 10. Okay, for this one word, for this one word, 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 like this I will be taking for each and everything among 5 words. I will be taking one based on the probability, and based on the probability we will be using the context, that is you will be using the previous words, and that is bigram probability you will be using it, or trigram probability, whatever is given in the problem, accordingly you will be calculating it. Okay, that we will see in depth. This is the idea, whole idea. Okay. See, we are telling that why it is so hard, because each word will have a multiple POS tagging. So finding out which is the correct POS tagging for the word is, because we have a tag set, we have a corpus. Simply we'll give that tag set to that corpus. The system automatically will assign. But what Vishnu told, yes, if that is that, if we are doing that, a word will have multiple POS tagging. So that is here we are shown. Can you tell me what is this actually? What is this example actually? Can you tell me? This example is for what?
POS tagging of the word back in different sentences.
Very good. So we cannot tell that back can be only. It can be of what? It can have different POS tagging, right? Yes or no? We cannot
Yes.
say back as based on the how it is appearing. The back door, here the back is an adjective. On my back, here it is a noun. In the water's back, it can be an adverb or verb. Next, promise to back the bill. So they have given these. So here the word back in different sentences, it is appearing in different sentences, and it has different POS tagging. That is a problem here. So finding out for this word in this sentence, this back, what is the POS tag? So generally, if you ask the system to assign, it will assign all this, because it doesn't know back means this we have to assign, we have given. We have learned the system like this. So it will do it. So this is why we are telling that POS tagging is hard. Okay, why NLP is hard? Because we have different issues, right? Why POS tagging is hard? Because same word has multiple POS tagging, that is ambiguity occurs here. So in order to avoid this, we have to find out which is the correct method to do it. Okay. To determine the POS tag for a, so what is tagging problem? We have to determine the POS tagging for a particular instance of a word. Okay, so that is they have taken one brown corpus and they have analyzed and they have made a research, and they told that 40% of the tokens are ambiguous. What is tokens and what is types? They have taken one brown corpus. Okay, some corpus data, and they made some analysis and they found out how much is an ambiguity is there. Okay. So how much is an unambiguity in that data set and how much is an ambiguity in your data set. So based on that, you have to solve it. So can you, from this table, can you analyze and tell me what you can able to infer? From this table, can you analyze and tell me what you can able to infer? They have given a breakdown of an ambiguous word types, right? Yes or no? Out of the entire brown, you take brown corpus, they have taken 40% of the total words. Okay, out of the total words, 40% of the tokens are ambiguous and 12% of the types. What is type here? What is types and tokens?
Types are unique words, ma'am.
Very good. Tokens?
Every instance of a word.
The words. Okay, so they have analyzed that 40% of the tokens are ambiguous and 12% of the word types are ambiguous, and they have breakdown and ambiguous word types into like this. Okay, what is unambiguous? One tag is there. So out of these many words, 35,340 words have only one tag, means is there any issue for that? Is there any ambiguity for that?
No.
No. So for that words, for that 35,340 words, either I have to do anything?
No.
No, it has only one tag, so not a problem. 2 to 7 tags. Then remaining words are splitted between two. Some words are having 2 tags, some words are having 3 tags, some 4, some 5, some 6, 7. Some words are having 7 tags also. So they have taken. So in that corpus, these many words, totally these many words are total 335 plus 4,100. So totally around 39,500 words are available in that corpus. In that 35,340 words are unambiguous that have only one tag. So not a problem. Remaining 4,100 words are between 2 to 7 tags are available for. So 2 tags, how many words are available? Getting 2 tags is common or what? Or getting 7 tags for a word is common?
2 tags.
2 tags for a word is common only. Okay, that can be because based on the context, the word can have either this or that. But getting 7 tags for a word is, that's why when it comes down, the count is decreasing or increasing? Sorry.
Decreasing.
Decreasing. Why it is decreasing?
Getting a higher tag is very difficult.
Quite rare. Getting 2 tags for a word is quite common in the Brown corpus. We can tell according to the Brown corpus, according to the statistics what they are given, getting 2 tags is quite common, but getting 7 tags for a single word is quite rare. Okay, so how to identify, how bad is that problem, how to solve this, we will see. Okay, that is, one tag is usually more likely than the others. That's why they have given here. Okay. That's why they have explained about the ambiguity problems, how it is occurring here. See here. So this is an example which is deciding if you have multiple tags, deciding which is the correct tag for each and every word is a problem here. So they have given multiple tags. Okay. So that back. So that word back will have multiple tags. Then it will be difficult to find out which is the correct. These are all the examples they have given. Okay, so if the word, single word has multiple tags, which is a correct tag to find out. Deciding the correct POS tagging is difficult even for the people. Normally we cannot say. So you have to apply some methodology and you have to find out which is the correct POS tagging for the word. Okay, so see here, they have told, or they have identified also some words may be only be nouns. There is some words may be having only one POS tagging, only one POS tagging, always be in one POS tag. That word, even if you see in any context, any form, that has only one POS tagging. Okay, some words are ambiguous. So these are all the problems we have. Relevant knowledge. So you should have some knowledge about the POS tagging. Before assign a tag, you should have some knowledge. There are some words which, even if you see in any context, that may have the same POS, that will be noun anywhere. Okay, that cannot change. There are some words which have multiple POS tagging, like maybe 2 tags or 3 tags or 7 tags also. Okay, so some words are ambiguous. Okay, probability may, so we have to use a probability to check, help if one tag is more likely than another. So which tag is more likely than the other tag for the given word, that can be decided by using the probabilistic method. Okay, if the word has only one POS tagging, you don't need to use any probabilistic method. You have directly in your question, if that word, I am telling the girl is singing, I have given only as a determiner. So no possibility is there. So the is determiner, it is a determiner. So no other options, ambiguity is there. So you can directly take it. Girl, it can be a noun or it can be a verb. I am giving different options. Okay, so you have to find out which is the correct POS tagging using a probabilistic method. We can find out whichever has the, so for the girl, I will be finding the probability for noun, for verb, for everything based on the previous word, the, what is the previous word before that, everything we'll be taking into context and we'll be making it, and whichever has the highest probability, that tag will be assigned to that word. Okay, and you should also have some knowledge. What is this knowledge? Can anyone tell me? You should have the knowledge about which are the words which will be having a unique tag, which will not have multiple tags, and if you also should have a knowledge about these words will have multiple tags based on the context. Simply if I ask you to do a POS tagging, you should have some knowledge. Without a knowledge I cannot assign a POS tagging. Okay, if you are a proper good in English communication, if you are good in English grammar, then only you can able to know whether in-depth fine-grained level you can go and tell each word whether it's a preposition or whatever it may be. So you should have a knowledge, and you should have a knowledge about the corpus what you are using it, proper corpus, and you should also have some knowledge about general knowledge about the words, okay, English words, how they will be appearing, all these. Okay, second one, local context also they are telling what this also the minimum knowledge we should know what this word is actually called as. These terms is always we have learned here in morphology. This knowledge also we wanted. What is this? This all this we can put it in a single term. What is that term called as?
Functional words.
No. See, morphology I told you, no?
Morphotactics.
Very good. Morphotactics. What is morphotactics? That's why I didn't use that word. I have given some examples for here. Two verbs usually will not follow each other. Two determinants rarely follow each other. Two determinants will not follow each other. The will not follow each other. That will not follow each other. Rarely follow each other. Determinants mostly always followed by an adjective or a noun. The boy, the cat, like that, determinants. So this type of knowledge, this also local context. You should also have some local context knowledge also. This we call it as what? This terminology is morphotactics. What is morphotactics? See, I have not given morphotactics. I have not given definition for morphotactics here, but I have explained there. I have given one. I have put only an exam, some rules. Why? Because I want you to know, think and tell what it is. What is morphotactics? Somebody told morphotactics, but you should know what is morphotactics, right?
Ma'am, given a word, like what the probability of next word, or like what are the possibilities of next word?
Yeah. So if you take, you should have a general rule. What type of morpheme follows other type of morpheme? So here determiner follows what? Determiner cannot follow by a verb. Okay, it will not directly follow by an preposition. Determiner will not follow together. Like that, we will be framing something. You should have some general knowledge. That is, what type of morpheme follows other type of morpheme. Here, what type of tag comes after that tag. So here, two determiner is one tag, another determiner is another tag. Two determiners rarely follow. We are not telling that it will not actually. Rarely, somewhere it may have it. It will give a meaningful sentence. Two base forms of the verbs rarely follow each other. Two verbs together rarely only will occur. Determiner will always, almost always followed by an adjective or a noun. Like that, you should also have some knowledge. Okay, then only you can say the boy means, okay, the is a determiner. Otherwise, you cannot tell the as a adverb or adjective or something. So you should know the basic knowledge. So these are all the knowledge related for POS tagging. Okay, 1 minute students, I'll close the door. Department, they have opened it. Students, can I'll come in 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. Can you be online? I'll be in 2 minutes, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody is calling here in the department. I'll come 2 minutes. சரியா? போகும்போது அந்த டோர் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க. Disturbance are the please. Okay. Can you all able to hear me, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So these are all the basic knowledge we want for POS tagging. Okay. So without that, I cannot see. If you have some programming knowledge and C only, I can ask you to write a program in C. Without that, if I ask, you will not know what is printf, what to use to print, what to use to get an input. Similarly, like if you want to find the POS tagging for each one, you should have some basic knowledge. That is the morphotactics related information you want and basic information, and you should be more have some basic knowledge about the corpus what you are using. If I give a new corpus, if it doesn't know anything about what words it is, how it is framed, what the corpus is talking about, what is the context of the corpus, you will not be knowing everything. So you will be so these are all the basic requirements needed to do that. Okay. So in POS tagging, we have two approaches. One is a rule-based approach and one is a probabilistic-based approach. So we will be concentrating on the probabilistic-based approach. So what is rule-based approach? You will be knowing, right? What is rule-based approach? As a name implies, what is rule-based approach? What is rule-based approach?
Based on the determinism or determinism.
Yeah, you have to write a rule. Okay. So if I have a noun and before that is a determiner, if I have a word before that is a determiner, then that word can be a noun. Possibility can be a noun or an adjective. Then we have to see the next word. Based on that, I have to tell whether it is a noun or like that. You have to frame a rule based on your context, how the data are appearing. Okay, that is called as a rule-based approach. You have to write a handwritten rules. If this is the case, then this is the solution. This is the tag for it. Like that, you have to write it. But whether the rule-based approach will be applicable for is a generalized one or is a specific one for the corpus? Whether it will be applied for all the corpus? Whatever, see, I am asking you to write a rule. Okay, see, they are asking me to write a rule. If a student marks is greater than 70, my grade is, so I'll be writing for NLP. So if a student mark is above 90 and less than 100, he belongs to O grade. If it is between 80 and 90, he belongs to A plus. If it is 70 to 80, he belongs to A. If it is 60 to 70, he belongs to B plus. If it is 50 to 60, he belongs to B. If it is less than 50, it is fail. So this is the rule I am writing for my own subject. Whether the same rule will be applied for other subject? In the rule, this is the rule-based approach. I am writing a rule. If my condition, if my students list is like this, okay, if my student marks is this, or if I'll write, if my continuous assessment marks is greater than 45, if my NSEM marks is greater than 45, then I can give O grade. So I am framing a rule for my thing. Whether that will be applicable for other subjects like networks or any other subjects? So based on what I am framing a rule, based on what? Based on my context, what is the content I am having with me, I am framing a rule, yes or no? Because my subject, top marks, lowest marks, average, everything different from the
Other subjects.
Other subjects, right? Yeah. So each and so in a rule-based approach, so I can apply that rule. Whatever rule I am framing here, I can apply for networks. Whether, but if the networks nobody is above 90 and below 100, so nobody will get O grade. That will not give a correct information. Yes or no? So, for example, in networks, highest marks is only 85. Here it is 95 means. So I have to define from 95 to 100 as O grade. They will define 85 to 90 as O grade. But the same grade which I have defined for my subject rule, I can apply it to others. But whether it will be a correct one, whether it's a sensible one, whether it will give a sensible output, please respond. Whether it will give general example only I am asking, right? I am not giving a complex. So whatever rule I am framing for the medical corpus, if I give for the sports corpus, whether it will work?
No, ma'am.
I can apply or not?
No, ma'am.
No. I can apply. It is not that we should not apply the rules. I can apply, but I'll get some results, whether I get or not. See, the whatever the rules I am framing for NLP, I can apply for networks. I'll get some output for networks also. It is not that it will not give any output. It will give or not?
Yes, it will give, but incorrect.
Right, very good. It will not. It is not incorrect. It is not a sensible output, because we have different conditions for based on this subject depth knowledge, the complexity. Based on that, they will similarly based on the words what we are using, you will be framing a rule based approach, rules for this. Okay, so rules will be different for each domain. You can apply, but if you apply for some other domain, so if you have things you are doing a research for your corpus, you can make a rule and you can apply it. Okay, you can apply it and the same rule for your data set. If the related domains you can apply and see, and that's why you will be getting an accuracy, how far it is accurate. Okay, your accuracy varies. Okay, so it is not a generalized rule, you because you are taking your own corpus specific and you will be writing a rule. Okay. Next one is a that is a rule based approach. Next one is a statistical tagging approach. Here what they are giving is, I have a training corpus. Okay, that have a so training and test data. So training data corpus for each word that have sentences. I have a training corpus which have multiple sentences. So I will be developing a model to tag each word with a particular tag in the training data. Okay, so each word with the particular tag in the training data. So I will be modeling it. Okay, instead of writing a rule for each word, if it is a angry, this, if it is a flies, this is a thing, if it is a boy, this is a tag, like that for each word. Okay, I have a corpus with the sentences, and each word is in the sentences can be tagged with this corresponding POS tag. Okay, so using that I can learn the tag for a new sentence. What will be a new sentence if I give a new sentence will be what? It will be a test data or training data?
Test data.
Test data. So if I give a test data, then I'll be learning the rules for it. Okay, I'll be learning the what are the tags. Okay, so so you will be taking a corpus. So in the what you will be doing, you will be having a training data and test data. In training corpus, I will be having a sentence. Each sentence will have multiple words, and each word I will be manually sitting and writing what is the tag for each and every word based on the previous words. So then now I have one model created. Training data, I have created one model. So this word means this word means this, like a dictionary. It will map. So if I give a test data, and that word is present in that, it will give, like how you are learning a chatbot. If I will be learning, I will be making the chatbot to learn. Okay, by training some rules, yes or no? By giving some input rules, yes or no? How the chatbot will work? If you are asking what time is my flight from Bangalore to Delhi, how it is responding? It is 11:30. How it is respond? What is a chatbot? It will respond to the user, right? How the chatbot responds? How it is giving an output? Any idea? Is there flight available from Bangalore to Delhi? It will tell yes. If I ask time, yes. Something, if you are asking some questions, it is giving an answer, right? Chatbots.
Yes, ma'am.
How it is giving? Any idea? You have to?
It trained on certain sentences and particular answers.
Yeah. So if you give, so you have trained somehow 1,000 questions, and you have trained the machine, and by giving questions and answers. So if I ask among the 1,000 questions, it will answer yes or no. If I ask one question which is not there, which is trained out of 1,000 questions, whether it will give an answer?
Yes, it will match the question to the relevant question. It will give, but
it will match with the relevant. If it is not at all relevant, I have not trained at all, then what it will go, what it will give sometimes. See, I have 100 questions. I have trained my model using 100 questions. So when I ask among the 100 questions, it will take among those combinations and it will give the answer. If I ask some unknown question, for example, which is not relevant, I am going to a chatbot for reservation system. I am asking about the bank question. Okay. What is the interest for housing loan? Like that, I am asking the chatbot, thinking that it's a chatbot for banking system. What it will answer?
I can't answer your question.
Very good. I can't answer your question. Some default we will be giving, right? When you are programming itself, we will be giving some default option, yes or no? If these are the questions asked, these are the answers. Other than that, we cannot predict that there are people are using it. So we cannot we cannot tell that people will ask only these questions. They may ask some other questions also. And you have to train your machine to check the accuracy also. If I ask the questions which is out of the question set which I have trained the system also, it should be able to give some answer. So what is the answer it is giving? I can't able to find the answer. Sorry, it is not available. Something you are getting it right. Similarly, here also you will be training a model, and if the test data matches with the training model, it will take and it will give the output, predict the output. But if it is not matching, it will, if that word is not there in the test data, training data, what it will give for that word? See, I have a word called saw, but that's in my test data, but that saw is not there in the training data. What it will do? Using this tagging, what it will do? The word is not appearing. It is like a dictionary. I am creating a word and creating the corresponding tags, and if I give some word, it will match, checks with the dictionary, whichever word is it checks with the dictionary. If the word is there in the dictionary, it will take the corresponding tag and it will apply the tag to the corresponding word. If the word is not there in the dictionary, what it will do?
It cannot.
It cannot give any answer. So for those words, we will not find it. So this method is basically, if you are training that method and if you are using this method and the test data should be the words which is present in that model, then you will get it. But we will not get a proper accuracy also. But if you are giving a test data with some other words, if it is relevant to some words, it will take. If it is not relevant, if the word is not present in the dictionary, in the trained model, then for those words, we will not get a POS tagging for that words. Okay. So this is how this method works. Okay. But using the probabilistic model, we will be solving how to find the POS tagging. Okay. So this is one method is rule based approach. You will be writing a rule, and based on the rules, we will be finding the probability. Other method is for each word, sit and write the POS tagging which is present in the training data set. And you give a test data and you train your machine. Okay, using the training data train. If the word the comes, it is a determiner. If the word a comes, it is a determiner. If the word in is there, it's a preposition. Okay, like that you write it. If it is a rose, it's an adjective. Like that you write it. So if that word, if I give some test data and if I check how it is applying the POS tagging for each and every word for the test data, if the word is present in the data set, then it will be given proper. If it is not present, that word will not get the POS tagging. Similarly, in rule-based approach, you have to write all the rules, all combination of rules. Then only if based on your test data, if any of the rule matches with your test data, then accordingly it will assign the POS tagging. Okay. So next we will see what is how the probabilistic method works. Okay. That can we see it in the next class? Probabilistic method. If I start, I need at least full. I'll start in the next class. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So Monday, you have third or fourth student.